because that's what humans um, have designed. But our true nature is awareness. But of course, the ego wants to own awareness. Just like the ego wants to own enlightenment, wants to own any experience. It wants to, it wants, it wants to take it into this tower and create a heaven or a paradise that is equal to God's. Which we could say is blasphemy, but it's also an absolute deluded state to create the immaculate, because the immaculate is already there. The immaculate has not been designed bit by bit, you see? That's why Stephen Hawking's theory of the Big Bang holds so much weight. Because whatever it is, in a scientific way, it's saying it happened like that. Boom. And they say, unfortunately, in the biblical sense, that God took 7 days. He took a long time, a period of time to do it. So that's not as good as this Big Bang, you see. That's not as infinite. That's not as mystical. That's not as genius. That's why the Bible ridicules God, you see. Ridicules much more than what the Bible says it is. But the Bible, of course, is another version of ego. It wants to take itself on and create some representation of what truth is. We in this body are taking on a representation of what truth is. The earth is taking on a representation of what truth is. The planets are taking on representations of what truth is, you see. Whatever it is designed or understood by ego, it is not. It is an attempt. It is a disguise. It is a way of celebration. It doesn't have to be a bad thing, ego. Ego doesn't have to be a bad thing and say, I want to make this heaven because I think mine's is going to be better than God's. I want to make it because I want to, it's a celebration. Yeah. We create a painting as an artist, we create a painting of nature because we want to enhance it. We want to say, look, it's beautiful. Here is a representation of what it is. Awareness is just the witness, you see. Recently I made a video about this Tower of I, and beyond I, outside of this tower, outside of this universe, is outside of galaxies, outside of all what we call livingness. What can it be if that's where we are heading for? If that's what we are projecting from through this Tower of I, I'd rather be in this Tower of I, you see, because it's nothing. But it's awareness, you see. It's the witness. So outside the Tower of I, you see everything that is contained within this Tower of I. You don't have to worry about a human body looking at one or a few compilation of stars if you're lucky. You can see infinity. You can see every thought, every living object, every molecule, every atom at the same time. And your human mind says, I don't know, you know, your brain starts hurting at that point. Even this brain, even trying to explain this, it says, whoa, stop. No further. Because it's not feasible to maintain awareness. Even though you experience it within, it's not feasible to maintain it. Because you have to go and leave this body and what we call die, and remove yourself from this Tower of I, from this samsara life. And that's what enlightenment is. It's a sneak preview of where you're going next. This I is not I. This I is not me. This I is not person. This I is not soul. This I is not consciousness. This I is not I, you see? When the experience, when the revelation, when that moment revealed truth, revealed this, you were looking from outside of Tower of I. But there was no you as a definite form, as a definite, this is me. I can see outside of the Tower of I. I cannot see anything but the Tower of I, says I. It's just a sneak preview into your infinite removal from life. And you can call it death. But you have, like this speaker has had subsequent deaths, multitudes of deaths within the Tower of I, trying to come back and change things, trying to come back and do things differently, trying to come back as a different form, trying to come back as a different life, as a different variation, a different species, trying to come back and discover that what I already was, this I beyond I, was and is. It is just an idea, a concept. I mean, the children's stories are the best way to actually understand life. If you look at the child and say to the child, here's a story about you. Here's a picture of you, an image of you. There's this man with a long beard, that's God. Okay? And you're sitting at the window looking out with God. And God says, look, see out there? Yeah? That's where you can go. But if you go, I'm not going to allow you to stay. So close your eyes and you can go. And you can spend many years, many centuries, many lives down there. And you can meet your parents and many friends and relatives. You can have fun. And the child's looking out the window saying, wow, wow. Do you want to go? And the child says, but I don't want to leave you. You're my father. And God says, but you'll never leave me. Just close your eyes and go to sleep. And then there's a dream. The child dreams that it's out here, out in this wilderness. It's going to school. It's all the stuff that we do as humans. It's dreaming. And then it dreams it dies. But it doesn't return to the room with God looking out the window. It doesn't stop. It just moves into another body. It wants another. It's loving it so much. It wants so much things to do and see and learn. And then outside the Tower of I, you return, and God says, waking up. And the child says, oh, you're here. I thought I'd lost you. Won't you come down there with me? It would be great fun. No, God says, no, I can't go down there. That's not possible, you see. I sent you down there on my behalf. And you did well. It felt like just a moment. And God says, it was less than a moment. But God doesn't say to the child, you never left. You've been looking out the window with me, with your eyes shut. And so, beyond I is God. But it's not what the man with the beard and the child. But the story is very similar. You return. You're always there. You're always in this awareness. You're always pure consciousness. You're always infinite love. But it's like anything else. When you take the finger, amputate it off the hand is affected. The finger is also affected. It has to regroup and try different things. The finger is small, insignificant, and lonely. That's what we are. We are small, insignificant, and lonely while we believe we are the finger. When we know that we are pure, unbound awareness. And that's what enlightenment is. Where you go beyond I, you remove all the stuff that you've been here as a child learning, doing, experiencing. You dehypnotize yourself, you wake up. You know? The child at God's feet is in a dream, and the dream is intense. It cannot waken up suddenly because it will be frightened, it'll be shocked. So it's a slow, slow process. Not this, not this, not this, not this, not this.